Hello, everyone. This right here is a photo of me when I was 13 years old. I know what you're thinking. Dylan, mate, you sure it's not Brad Pitt? Fortunately, it's not Brad Pitt. There's actually a photo of me. Now, there's a few things we have to go through here. Firstly, what is going on with my haircut? My mum actually worked for L'Oreal at the time as a hairdresser, and I'm not sure why she let me leave the house looking like this. Second, where the hell are my eyebrows? Unfortunately, this is not a Photoshop photo. I didn't grow eyebrows till I was about 17 years old, and although I couldn't control that, it wasn't really helping my cause, was it? I've also got braces, I'm overweight, and although I'm smiling in that photo, it's probably the first time in my life I was really insecure about my disability. Up until this point, I never really cared about the fact that I was in a wheelchair, but when I reached this age, everything became different, and it started dictating everything that I could achieve. So today I want to take you on a bit of a journey of how I've able to overcome those insecurities and become the best version of myself. So as you can probably tell, I'm in a wheelchair. Anyone notice? Hard to hide, isn't it? I was born with a tumour wrapped around my spinal cord. So if you take a small melon, chop the melon in half, stick half of it on your back, that's how I was born. When I was a couple of days old, the surgeon decided to remove that tumour in order to save my life. But as a result, it left me a paraplegic. I spent the first 6 months of my life in hospital, unable to go home. And then my parents got a call. Great news, Dylan can go home. And I got to go home for about 24 hours. Then I went back in for another 8 months. And then, after 8 months, I went home again, this time for 16 hours, and one of my kidneys failed. And this is pretty much what happened till I was about 3.5 years old. And I believe the only reason I made it out of that hospital and into the person that I am today is the love and support of my family. I've got awesome parents, Martin and Reese, who were by my side every night in hospital. Or so they say. I'm yet to see photos. But and I've also got an awesome big brother, Zach, who's my best mate in the whole world. But you know what? He wasn't always my best mate. We used to have Foxtel. We were very lucky. And we used to fight over the Foxtel remote. Every Saturday morning, Zach would get up on his feet, run down the hallway, get in the lounge room, pick up the control, thus having the power. Now, I can't tell you how much this used to shit me. So what I would do is I'd get up, Zach would be on the, he'd go to the bathroom, I'd crawl over, pick up the control, and the power would be mine. But after a while, Zach realised what I was doing, so whenever he got up to go to the bathroom, he'd get the control, go in the kitchen, put it on top of the fridge where I couldn't reach it, look back at me and laugh, and act like nothing had happened. Now, I tell that story to people, and I say, do you think it's a good or a bad thing? My brother used to do that. And a lot of people say, yeah, it's a good thing, it used to challenge you. Well, you know what? At the time, I thought it was a bit of a prick move, if I'm honest. I didn't see the funny side. But I tell you what, it would have been very easy for my brother to say, I feel sorry for my sick, disabled brother Dylan, who's never going to be able to walk. I'm going to simply give him whatever he wants. But my brother thought, stuff that. I don't care that Dylan's in a wheelchair. I'm going to treat him like any other brother. And it made me realise if my brother didn't care I was in a wheelchair, then why the hell should I care that I'm in a wheelchair? And this mentality really helped me, through my younger years. I went to school. I was like any other kid. I love playing sport. I'm from Melbourne. Sorry, guys. And love playing footy, AFL. I was more of a stepladder than a participant, though. But my favourite was playing cricket because what I would do is I'd be batting. I'd sit in front of the stumps. People would bowl it. It would hit my wheel. And they'd go, LBW. I said, hit the wheel, dickhead. And I would then bat the whole lunchtime because everyone felt bad, and that was completely fine by me. But as I mentioned, when I went about 12, 13, 14, everything became a bit differently. I really couldn't keep up as much, and I really became embarrassed about my disability. I developed a bit of a nickname. People started calling me the cripple. Now, I hate that word. It's got a real negative connotation to it. And you know what? Every time I switched on the TV, a movie or a TV show, and saw a guy in a wheelchair, he was portrayed as broken, less capable, unemployable, not sexy. And for the most part, in all these films, the person in the wheelchair, wants to end their own life. And you know what? I started believing it, and it started dictating everything that I could achieve. And I think we are fed that lie by the media. And as I said, it was a really tough time for me. But I was very lucky that I was able to get out of that. And I found something that gave me passion and a drive. And for me, that was playing sport. I started playing tennis when I was about 12 years old. Has anyone seen wheelchair tennis before? Believe it or not, it's tennis in a wheelchair. Who would have known? And then when I was 15, I started playing wheelchair basketball. Now, ever since I was a kid, all I wanted to do was go to the Paralympic Games. Now, I'm sure everyone knows what the Paralympic Games is, the pinnacle of sport for people with disabilities. But I bet you might not know what it means, the word. It's split in two. The Olympic part, the pinnacle of sport, and the para. Now, everyone thinks the para represents paraplegic and paralysed. And so did I when I first went, so don't feel bad. But it actually means parallel, meaning the Olympic Games and Paralympic Games run parallel or alongside one another. Same venues, same country, around the same time, same sports stars, fighting for the same gold medals. The only difference at the Paralympics is everyone has a disability and is heaps better looking and more marketable to corporates. But hey, I'm not calling me biased. And for me, that dream was realised in 2008 when I played wheelchair basketball. Now, we were ranked number 3 in the world. USA was number 2 and Canada was number 1. Now, we played our first match. We played the Brazilian wheelchair basketball team. Now, this wheelchair I'm in, I don't know, it's worth about $9,000. Made out of titanium. It's got carbon wheels. You know, it's pretty good. Let's say a 2016 Ferrari, for example. Now, has anyone been to hospital and used those, those crappy wheelchairs you get? You know, those big, shitty wheelchairs? Brazil are pretty much playing basketball in these chairs. So let's say like a 1972 Daewoo with 3 flat tyres. So how do you think we thought we were going to go? Pretty good, yeah? Well, at halftime, we were down by 21 points. I had this one guy who hit 6 3-pointers in the first half, and I honestly thought Michael Jordan had an illegitimate Brazilian love child who had some kind of work-safe accident, lost his leg, and played basketball. This guy was on fire. So anyway, my coach, I was 17 at the time, the next youngest was 24. So I didn't think I was going to play very much. And my coach, he used to call me Ilan with no D because I didn't play defense. Fucking hilarious, yeah? But when you're down by 21 points, who the hell needs defense? So he threw me on and we started pegging him back. I hit a few shots. I was so nervous. We started pegging him back, got closer. Down by 11, three-quarter time. I got to play the whole fourth quarter. I couldn't believe it. Got closer. And then my captain, the big guy on the end, number 15, caught the ball with 1 second to go, threw up the ugliest basketball shot you've ever seen in the history of wheelchair basketball. It's called a dunny roll. Went round once, round twice, round a third time, and the ball went in with 0.01 of a second to go, and we won that game by 1 point. And I got this feeling in my stomach, like, you know what? Things like that don't just happen. We should have lost that game. We need to capitalise. So went through the whole tournament, pumped everyone, got to this semi, played Great Britain, smashed them. Final, played the world number 1 team, Canada. And you know what? We just played the game of our lives, and it was incredible. And you guys are quite lucky, because this right here is my gold medal from the Beijing Paralympic Games. Now, winning this was one of the best things that ever happened to me for one reason. To sit on top of that podium with 12 of my best mates, guys that had been through absolutely hell and back in order to get there. My captain, as I told you about before, he was working in the docks in Fremantle. He was hopefully getting drafted in the AFL. And then one day, one of his mates tied one of the boat ropes to his leg as a joke. He then tied it to the dock. The captain thought someone said go. The boat took off, and it ripped his leg straight off, unable to walk ever again. Another one of my teammates, he was out celebrating a rugby league final, and he was so keen. They won. He was so keen to get back to the pub with his friends and family. He was with his fiancée and his 2 best mates. They were speeding. They lost control of the car, and my teammate lost his fiancée and his 2 best mates, and he was left a paraplegic, never to walk again. And we were so bloody proud of one another, what we'd achieved, knowing from where we'd come from, and to sit on top of that podium with the flag going up with tears in our eyes, it was one of the best moments of my life. And you know what? 99.99% of the population that has ever lived on Earth in history has no idea what it's like to win a gold medal. And I'm humbled and honoured to say that, that I'm one of those people. In terms of my sporting career, we went to the World Champs. We won that. That's me with the flag on, looking like a little wiener. What's going on, there? And then we went to the London Games, and unfortunately those Canadian jerks got us back this time, and we lost the gold medal. And then after that, you know what? Basketball became, a bit of a job for me. I think it's important to have a passion and a purpose. And I decided to go backpacking around the world to do something different. And you know what? It was awesome. I learned a few valuable lessons. One, I cannot tell you how many stairs there are in Europe. It is like Wheelchair Survivor over in that bloody place. But I learned, if ever you need help in life, all you have to do is ask, because 99% of people will help you. It was awesome. I'm a massive music fan, actually, and I went to a few music festivals. Got the name, a name for myself as the guy that crowd surfs in his wheelchair at festivals. To be honest, the first time I did this, I was just sick and tired of looking at all your asses all day. It's not the best view down there, but I think these photos are pretty cool metaphors for people with disabilities, breaking that mould and doing what's unexpected of them. So anyway, I got back from my trip. Basketball, it just wasn't for me anymore. I just couldn't really I didn't want to do it. I needed something else. I was thinking about getting a job in TV and radio and changing the perception of disability. I'll touch on that a bit later. But, I decided on a whim to have a bit of a hit of tennis. That was in August 2013, and 6 months later, I qualified for my first ever Australian Open, only after 6 months of being back. I didn't do very well, but I love the experience. Not many people in life get to meet their heroes. And I remember I got at my first Australian Open, and the locker attendant, gave me my locker, number 61, and he goes, "Ooh, that's a good locker." I said, "Kind of looks like every other locker, to be honest." But so anyway, I put my tennis bag in. I'm looking for my string and my rackets, and anyway, I find my string. I pull my head out of my locker, and then just standing there, completely naked, basically with his penis on my shoulder, is my hero, Roger Federer. And he looks at me and he goes, "Hi, I'm Roger." And I go, "Hi, I'm Dylan." And I thought, you know what, I can get used to this tennis thing. And so I decided to go on the world tour, and I loved it. It's just been a real breath of fresh air. And you know what, that was 3.5 years ago, and I'm pretty honoured to say that in 2015, I won my first Grand Slam at my home city of Melbourne, the Australian Open. I backed that up and won the US Open and got the world number 1 ranking that year as well. And then just to rub it in, I won the Australian Open again this year. But people ask me, why did you make the switch to tennis? Why did you want to do it? And it's for a few reasons. This is, for anyone who knows, Novak Djokovic, who presented me with my trophy this year. And, I just love the professionalism of the wheelchair tennis tour and the sport. The Paralympic movement is upon us. And if you guys haven't realised that, you are 100% getting left behind. People used to think the Paralympics was this come and try event where we've got inspirational stories and we're just happy to be there. But, we are elite athletes who train our ass off, who are out there kicking ass every single day, putting on an entertaining show. And it's such an honour for me to be at the forefront of that, to share it with you guys. Because if we can increase the awareness, the sponsors will come, and the return on investment for sponsors will come as well. But the real reason I did it was because in Rio, only a couple of months ago, I wanted to become only a handful of athletes to ever win 2 gold medals in 2 different sports across 2 different games, Paralympics or Olympics. It was my dream. And I've had so many people supporting me over the years. It's what I wanted to do. So I got to Rio. I was world number 1 in singles, but my doubles partner, he was ranked about outside the top 50. So he didn't get in, but he got a wild card to play. So anyway, a week into the tournament, I'd made the gold medal match for singles and doubles. We got to the final of the doubles, that was first. We played the world number 1 pair. They had never lost in the Paralympics. They had won in Athens 04, Beijing, and London. Never lost a match. So, we were just, I thought we were stuffed. We were down 6-1, 4-1, 40-love in the best of 3 tiebreak sets. So if you don't know what that means, you're screwed. You got no chance. I was thinking about what I was going to have for dinner the next night. Honestly, I was. I was thinking about dinner on court. So anyway, somehow, out of nowhere, we reeled off 5 games in a row. Went to a 3rd set. I was busting to go to the toilet. I was so busting. So I took a toilet break. Idiot. Lost all our momentum. We were down 4-1 in the 3rd set. Same thing. 4-love. Same thing. What's for dinner? We're done. And you know what? I don't know what happened, but we ended up, it was 6-all in the third set. Whoever won that got the gold medal. And you know what? On that day, my dream was realised when I became a double gold medalist, this time for a different sport. And you might, can everyone hear that? So this gold medal has got 26 ball bearings in it, the silver has 18, and the bronze has 12. And it's for the blind athletes, so they know what they got. And it's got Braille on it, and everyone always says to me, what does the Braille say? I go, I don't know, I'm not fucking blind. How am I supposed to know? But it's very good, because the blind athletes that can't read Braille, they were on the podium like, yep, mine sounds better than yours. Yeah, I didn't get you. So guys, I'm hanging around afterwards, morning tea, so if you want to come have a look, please come up, all right? But it's not finished. And, you know, if I left Rio without that gold medal, the singles gold, I would have been really disappointed. And this is the moment that I guess I became a triple gold medalist the next night. And to we go back to back in Rio, it was truly unbelievable. And the reason it is I'm so proud to be a Paralympian. The Paralympic Games, for 2 weeks, people with disability, you know, we ruled Australia. We ruled the world. We took over everything, and I just love that. I think the great thing that separates the Paralympics from the Olympic Games is the incredible athletes with amazing disabilities, you know, doing things you would never, ever imagine is possible. I just want to tell you one more quick story before I get out of here. And I was in the best thing about the Olympics or Paralympics is, excuse me, 1, winning gold medals. It's the best. 2, the party afterwards. Just 30,000 good-looking people who have not had a beer in 2 years, either celebrating or commiserating, and now have Tinder. It's carnage in there. But and the third best thing, right, is the food. It's got this massive food hall. Everything is free. It's got 24 hours a day, all you can eat. Breakfast, pizza, pasta, a salad bar, a sushi bar, steaks, chicken. It's got Peking duck stand. It's got a kebab stand. What Olympian has kebabs? I don't know. And then down the end, it's got 24 hours a day, all you can eat, free McDonald's. To the point where after I won my third gold, I ordered 160 nuggets just because I could. I had like 12, but I was like, 160, please. Anyway, I went in the food hall and I saw this guy. And he was carrying his buffet tray of food with his mouth. And I remember thinking, man, like, why does this guy use his arms? But I had a closer look, and this guy had no arms from the shoulders down, so nothing. So most people with one arm, one leg, whatever, can attach a prosthetic, and they're pretty much, you know, normal contributing members of society. You wouldn't know they had a disability. But this guy couldn't do that. I remember thinking, how's he going to eat his food, you know? Is he going to feed him, like, get fed or face plant? Like, I had no idea, right? So I wanted to see this guy eat. So I kind of sat near him, far enough away so I didn't know, but I was there. So I took off his shoes, walked over to the middle of the food hall, and he picked up a pair of takeaway bamboo chopsticks, you know, the kind you get at your local Chinese restaurant. Got back to his seat, unwrapped the paper with his toes, cracked the chopsticks open with his toes, put the chopsticks between his toes on his right foot, and started feeding himself his rice with his feet. Now, when everyone in the room except me, because I'm a paraplegic, hands up above your head. Everyone, hands up. Put your hands up. Put your right foot to your mouth without bringing your hands down. I remember thinking, man, it's pretty hard, yeah? I mean, I can't even use it with my hands, let alone my feet. And imagine how hard it'd be for that guy to put on a t-shirt or open a car door, you know? Or imagine never being able to hug your wife or your husband or your partner. Or what about never being able to hold your firstborn child? You know, on paper, this guy's life must be devastating. And if he sat at home and did nothing, who the hell are we to tell him to go do anything? Because his life must be so tough. But he was able to look at the cards that he was dealt and become the best version of himself. Same as me. You know what? Michael Phelps, he's won gold medals. So have I. Ian Thorpe, Kathy Freeman. What a champion. Well, this guy with no arms, he's broken 4 world records, got 4 gold medals, and he swims the 100-metre backstroke in just over 1 minute flat. And you know what? This guy and I, as I said, we would just be able to become the best versions of ourselves. And, you know, I'd be lying to you say there's a lot of things in my life that I can't do that really devastate me. Like, I want to have a child one day, and I'm going to have to ask my brother to teach them how to kick a football because, I can't do it. I was up at Byron Bay on Monday, sitting there on the grass, watching people run along the sand, play in the waves, and I had to sit 50 metres away because I've never in my life been able to do that. And you know what? That sucks. But for one thing that I can't do, there are tens of thousands of other things that I can do. And if I ever had the opportunity to, get stem cell research or robotic legs, there's no way in hell you could ever pay me enough to do it. Because I used to say the Dylan that walks and the Dylan in the wheelchair is the same Dylan. But that's crap. Because the Dylan in a wheelchair is a much better version of any other Dylan that could have ever lived. You know what? But unfortunately, there are 4.5 million people in Australia with a physical or intellectual disability that don't feel the same way that I do. There's still a massive stigma associated with disability, that you are broken, less capable, unemployable. And for this reason, they don't have the confidence to get out there and do anything. So I want to leave you with one call to action. Next time you see someone with a disability and you think, you know what, I might go up and say hi, go up and say hi to them. The next time someone with a disability applies for a job at somewhere that you work, you know what, give them a chance. And if they deserve that job, you know what, give it to them, even though they might be a bit different. If you go out on a Saturday night and you see a good-looking guy in a wheelchair, ladies, go up and ask for his number. I'm telling you, you won't regret it. But if you guys can do that, we can go a long way to breaking down those stigmas and help those people with disabilities become the best version of themselves as well. Guys, thank you very much for having me here. I look forward to catching up with you out later.